WW7ATS.
K7ITX, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. K7ITX.
KD7ZYM, K7ITX, you coming in 5 by 5. Good evening, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with DATV, that's digital amateur television in the DVB-7 format. Western Washington Amateur Television Society can be found on the internet at WW7ATS, WW7ATS. There at our front page, you'll find the exact frequencies we transmit and receive on, a little background information on our organization. Also, you'll find a link that will take you to YouTube, where we stream our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 for the 08 machine. But take note, you'll need a tone of 103.5. You'll need a tone of 103.5 to participate on this net on the 147.08 receiver. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has an emergency traffic or needs to make a contact before the net gets fully underway. This is Dave, KD7ZYM.
N7KC.
N7KC, this is KD7ZYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. Welcome to the net. Let's see, also signed into the net is Ron, KD7QKU by video link, Bob, K9PQ, Richard, K7ITX, Wade, W7ITL, Jim, N7QO, and myself, Dave, KD7ZYM. Is there anybody else who would like to check into the net?
James Whiskey, Uniform 7 November in Northeast Bellevue.
27N, thanks with that, we got you down. Well, let's start the net going. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. Let's start off with Ron in Tacoma, KD7QKU.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Dave. Good evening to the group, KD7QKU. I guess I can transmit a picture. My camera acted up a minute ago. There we go. So that's my first transmission on the new digital to Cougar Mountain. So it's working pretty good. My antenna, my 70 centimeter antenna's out there on top of the lawnmower shed, and it's going through the trees, and it's a rainy night, and it's working, so that's pretty nice. So I had a pretty good day today. I went grocery shopping. I helped Joanne a little bit with the shower. She's getting better and better now all the time. She can use her arm a little bit more. She still has to be a little careful. But it's her leg, of course, that's the big deal. She broke it, so she's cracked it, so she's walking in a boot, and then she had a blood clot in it. But I think that the swelling and the redness and everything's gone down, so I think that's pretty much taken care of itself now. So with this a rainy old dreary day here, didn't do a whole lot. Like I say, went grocery shopping and did a little cooking, not much. We had leftovers tonight. It's always good to have leftovers. So that's about here in Tacoma. So back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for that. Well, let's go to Port Angeles to Lee in 7KC.
Okay, very good. This is Lee in 7KC in Port Angeles. Oh, I see myself over on the YouTube. Wow, that's pretty nice. I guess my question. Well, hello to everybody. Okay, when Ron was talking, there was a minus 74 dBm, which I'm going to assume is the received signal at the repeater. And it also had a 12 dB down on the lower right that I saw, and I don't know what that means. Notice when Ron quit, it went to 0, so I'm not sure what the 12 dB is. And then there was a number on the upper left that I may have been the audio and something else. I'm not sure. The sample rate, perhaps. I don't know. It looked like it was something like 44,000 hertz, 44 kilohertz. That may be something to do with the audio. So if Wade's on, well, Wade, I see Wade there. Maybe he can explain that when it gets to him. Other than that, we're muddling along over here. I had some oral surgery, which is now has gone. I'll put it this way: I'm a whole lot better, and so forth. So anyway, but I'm awful pleased to have it behind me. 12 stitches, when it was all said and done. It's clear that there's a latency for me tonight. Looks like it might be in the order of 6 or 7 seconds. I'm going to guess. I'll test that. So here we go. 1001, 1002, 1003. Oh, 3 or 4 seconds. Not bad. Okay, back to you, Dave. I don't have anything else. It's 7KC Lee in Port Angeles. So go ahead.
KC, thanks for that. Let's go to Bob, T9PQ in Bothell.
Nice. Well, let's see. I had hoped to be also transmitting. Congratulations, Ron, for transmitting on the digital signal. I have both transmitted and received down at Magnuson, and I had kind of hoped to be doing that tonight, but I've been out camping, and I just wasn't quite in as good a shape as I wanted to be. So between the cold weather, being out in it, and doing some hiking that we did, I decided to stay home this evening. I just came back this afternoon, so I decided it was pushing it a little too much to try and go back out again this evening. but I had a great time yesterday. We got very lucky. We planned this over a week ago, I think, to leave Monday and have the whole day go to Fort Eby State Park is where I went, and have all day Tuesday and then come home today. And yesterday, full day that we had there was about as good as you could hope for. I guess you could want it to be warmer, but there was no rain, and there was a fair amount of sun along with clouds, but I don't think it was ever fully overcast. So it's just a very pleasant day. We hiked around Fort Eby a little bit, and then we also took a drive into Coupeville and had lunch there, and just a nice little town. So here's something I actually visited Coupeville before, and I did not know this, that it was that's where the film Practical Magic was shot. It was supposed to be some northeastern little village, northeastern U.S. little village, but they shot it there, and especially with Halloween coming, they were really playing that up a lot. So it was kind of fun. You go to all the little shops, and they're all they have references to Practical Magic, and they've got all kinds of Halloween stuff out. So it was kind of nice, and it was sunny. I actually felt the sun on my back at one point, and it was really warm. So we did have a little bit of warmth there, but for the most part, it was chilly and still very pleasant time. Okay, I'll send it back, K9PQ.
Let's go to Richard, K7ITX in Arizona.
Yeah, well, okay, I hope one can hear me okay. As I look behind me at the map, I'm kind of excited that, how it just shows the perspective, the scale of the 6 or 7 or 8 of us right now. We're small, but there is a slightly longer line between me and you guys, so that's pretty exciting. And to think that Ron is now pure digital, that's beautiful, Ron. That is, I'm so excited for that, and I want to get back, but a couple things are going to keep me here. Number one, the weather. It doesn't get any nicer than it got today. You wake up, crisp, 48 degrees, clear sky, and then when the sun pops up, before you know it, you're in the 70s. The low 70s, never got higher than 73. It was heaven on earth, and so, that's keeping me away from your climate, and I got more exercise to do, quite frankly. So, I told you several times how long I was in the hospital, and then coming out, I'm in a wheelchair. Just recently, I started getting around in a walker. Well, last night, I graduated to a cane. And so the walker's been shoved away, and now I'm walking around with a cane. It's spring-loaded yet at the bottom. So, but it won't be that long. I just started physical therapy outpatient this week, and the therapist maybe stick with the walker today. He wants me to prove myself, at least in public, that I can, not have to use it. It's safety. The big thing is safety. When I say safety, it's, you don't want to fall, because you fall, then you're off to the emergency room, and, it's called a setback. So, golly, that's that's about all I have. So, just 1 minute, please. But I'm very proud. We've been looking for places and food to eat, and we found a real nice little inexpensive hole in the wall, real good gyro. And for $10, you get a super gyro, and it is super. And then I add that to a Trader Joe's Greek salad, and I customize it with cherry tomatoes and green olives and kalama olives in a big salad bowl, and I eat the whole damn thing. So take that to the bank. K7ATS, back to net control.
Good. Thanks for that. K7ITX. This is KD7CYM. Let's go to Wade, W7ITL.
Great. Well, this is Wade here in Tacoma. Yeah, full digital as well tonight. You may notice there's 2 timestamps in my image. The top one is my local time at my transmit to the repeater, and the bottom one is the time that's going out from the repeater. So there's like about a half a second or so delay for my signal getting up there, and then another or so second to get back down. So there's about 1 or 2. Oh, you're not hearing me?
Your computer or something.
Wait, this is K9PQ. I'm hearing you just fine. I think whatever it is on the other end. So you're coming through just fine, Wade.
Well, I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe there's a feedback loop going on inside the signal. Yeah, to kind of go back to Lee's comment about what is in the left-hand corner here. Other way. That's the frequency that the receiver is set to at the repeater site, which is 435 megahertz and 0.5 kilohertz at 4 megahertz of bandwidth. In the other side, that's the decibels that it's receiving my signal, and then the bottom number is more of a quality reading. It doesn't actually, it's a pseudo reading. It doesn't actually, it's not an actual RF decibel gain. I'm not quite sure. This is something that the manufacturer put in the firmware. The higher the number, the better the signal quality it's getting. So the top number is the RF signal, and the bottom is like the quality signal. So let's see, Bob. It looks like you were going out camping, and it was a little cold, but you sound like you had a good time. Ron, congratulations getting your first signal into the repeater digitally. Hoping that more people will be able to get on, and so we can all see more people here on digital. So that is that. I'm going to say 70, not 73. I'll turn it back to net control. This is W7ITL.
W7ITL, Wade, thanks for that. And this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Let's go to Jim in 7QO in Covington.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, Ron, congratulations. First time transmitting a digital picture. I wish I could see it. I've got a little time to go before I can do that, but glad to hear that. Glad to hear that Joanna's improving. We will still keep her in mind and hope she continues to improve at a rapid rate. And eating leftovers, yeah. Matter of fact, I'm kind of in a similar position. A friend of mine had a birthday. Actually, it was yesterday, and it turned into a pizza party. I don't know how many pizzas they wound up with, but the host basically gave me a whole pizza to take home, so I have enough to last me at least a couple of days, maybe 3 days. Well, I probably should make it last 4 days. But anyway, I'm happy for that. Lee, oral surgery, glad that it helped. Everyone knows my fondness toward dentists. Actually, my dentist does an exceptionally good job. I just don't like it, that's all. Bob, out camping, my goodness. Glad you had fun. Probably a good idea to take it a little bit easy this afternoon or this evening. And as for me, here today, it began raining maybe around 10 o'clock this morning, and it has not yet stopped. A couple of times during the day it slowed down quite a bit, but it seems like it never really stopped, at least not that I noticed over here. And Coopville, Practical Magic. Now that's a good place to visit for Halloween. Yeah, I'm not sure if someone planned it, but that's great to hear. Sounds like a hoot. Dick, you said something. Hope that we hear you. We hear you fine, at least on the 2-meter machine. We hear you just fine. And you were commenting about the lovely weather down there in Arizona. Yeah, like I said, it's been rainy here today, and the weather guessers are predicting rain for the next several days here. I think during the next week they're guessing that 2 days are going to be dry and the rest will have at least some precipitation. And right now at the house here I have 45 degrees. So, yeah, it's definitely a little nicer down there where you are. And retiring, or at least wanting to retire your walker and just using a cane, that's good. I have to go along with your therapist, though. The walker is kind of a safety issue, at least for now. It's important not to fall, but that's good that you feel confident enough to use a cane alone only. And that's a good thing, and enjoying food again. Yeah, we kind of heard that the last net or so. That's really good to hear. And Wade, thanks for the explanation on what's going on the video, which I cannot yet see. I'll have to write that down and see if I can decipher it in the future here. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
In 7QO, thanks for that. And quick ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Again, I'll emphasize you'll need a tone of 103.5 to get into this net, utilizing 147.08 repeater from the SeaTac Repeater Association's WW7ATS repeater. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody wants to check into the net. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Hearing none, let's go to James, WU7N in Bellevue.
This is James here, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. And And I thought I would do a little experiment here. I thought I would see if I can get my camera to show up right like that. And then you not only have the different time, it doesn't really show that well, does it? Oh well. Anyway, I was going to try to put the actual time here as it comes over the YouTube, and that way you would get a very exact count of about, roughly 7 seconds of delay, and see if that would work. But I'll have to come up with a better display on the digital internet side to have it go all the way around the route and see how long that takes. The old wave the hand in the air and count trick still seems to be what is working, but not as accurate. Well, Ron, congratulations on the digital TV complete circuit there. Your image looks really good, as I would expect it to with digital TV. Also good to hear that Joanne is on the mend. That's good news, too. And Lee, stitches, my goodness. I seem to be a little bit behind on what you had stitches for, but I'm glad you're healing up well. So anyway, I do like the clocks on everything. It is interesting that it takes that long for a transmitted picture from Wade's transmitter, which has a clock, to make the trip all the way back out. I'm surprised it's a second or a half second. That's interesting. So I like, I'm assuming being DTV that it's somehow synchronized through the GPS network, but Wade, maybe you can comment on that, because the times seem to be very accurate. Let's see, camping. Most people go camping in the spring and the summer and the early fall, but I would expect you, Bob, to be going out this time of the year somehow. But I'm glad you picked a good time, good holiday there, Halloween, and got some natural vitamin D3. I think most of the year my D3 all comes out of a bottle. I do commend your self-discipline. If someone gave me a cane that had a spring-loaded bottom, it would be irresistible. I couldn't stop. I would have to use it as a pogo stick and jump up and down and use it like that. So I guess that's why they would never give me a cane like that. They're pretty good at evaluating people. But it does sound like you had an excellent meal, salad and gyro. Gosh, it's been a long time since I've had a gyro. I should go seek one out and consume it. I was hearing today, I didn't realize this, but the typical restaurant margin is under 2%. Nationwide, it's around 4%, but it's so difficult to do business here. It's something like 1.5% or something. I don't understand how you even run a business with that kind of margin. Of course, that's a statewide average, high-end restaurants, low-end, food trucks, everything. So I was kind of surprised to hear that today. I guess maybe not so surprised that it's more difficult to run a restaurant here, but I was surprised the differential was that great compared to the national average. Well, anyway, 26 minutes after the hour roughly, this is James, WW7N in Northeast Bellevue. I am going to go ahead and turn it back to our net control, Dave. Take it away, Dave.
WW7N, thanks for that. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. In Lake City, I've got 55 degrees and it's raining outside. And congratulations on Ron getting a full DATV station up and running at his house. So that's very good as we're making the transition over to DATV for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. And for Lee, being able to see what's coming in on YouTube and timing out what the pictures look like coming in on DATV via the internet. That was looking pretty good. And Bob, camping in fair weather and on a trip over to Coopville. Long time I've been to Coopville. One of my colleagues opened a restaurant there at one time in Coopville, and it ran for about 5 years till he retired. So anyway, I did get a chance to spend some time at Coopville. And Richard, 70 degrees plus and walking with a cane. Boy, what an improvement. Getting along, being able to get out there and be on your own two legs, getting out, walking along, and Wade explaining a little more of the digital information that comes out on the screen on the digital amateur television screen. So that's pretty good. And Jim, more pizza than he can eat. I always like that. And for James, figuring out the delayed time on different factors of video going out and coming back. What a good pastime to have to see what the latency is on everything. And for me, this is Dave, KD7CYM, Lake City. As I said, 75 degrees and raining outside. Today I did domestic chores and cleaning up the ham shack, getting ready for DATV. I've got to thank Wade, who's picked up the complete receive and transmit and amplifier and setting that up for me at his house. Wade did come to my house and we tested out for receiving a signal on DATV at 1.2 gig, and I've got a good picture here in Lake City. The only problem is my transmitting antenna is pointing over towards Bremerton as opposed up to Cougar Mountain, and that needs to be tightened up so it swivels around. The wind sort of blows that antenna for 70 centimeters around a little bit, so that'll get there. But again, many thanks to Wade, who has really taken on to himself to get our ATV up and running in the digital mode. So this is Dave, KD7CYN. So I'm going to send it back up to Ron, KD7QKU. Again, this is Dave, KD7CYN.
Thank you very much, Dave. Yes, it'll be nice when you can get on the air. The more we can get, the better. I'm anxious to see everybody else, too. And Lee, I guess you had a little bit of oral surgery, I guess I heard there. You seem to be good. I'm not sure what happened. I was getting feedback here from somebody's computer. I don't know. Wade didn't look like he was muted, and James didn't look like he was muted. But anyway. So let's see, I got my COVID shot the other day and my flu shot, and I felt a kind of punk for a day. My arm never really got sore, but I seem to be fine today. So that evening, the evening I got the shot, and the next day I felt crummy. But I seem to be okay now. And let's see, yeah, Richard, you're progressing pretty good. You're going to use a cane. You were talking about that Ural. You made me hungry. I love Urals too. We went once or twice over there at Issaquah and had a Ural, and that was really good. I tried one place here, but it was crummy. I suppose I could look for another place. But anyway, not much going on over here. Last time I looked, it was 45 degrees. And yeah, Jim, it'd be nice when you get a receiver and you can see what we're transmitting. So I don't have a whole lot more. When I first started out tonight, I lost my picture on my camera. I had the weight of the little power supply on the cable, and it was must have messed with the connection. So I went and got some tape and lifted it up, and now it seems to be working okay. I'm glad of that. For a while there, I thought I was going to have a real problem. So the camera I'm using is just a little analog camera I have. I think it's called a Bluefin. I bought it off Amazon a couple years ago, paid $12.95 for it, and it seems to work just fine. I bought it because Bird bought one. Bird bought a little battery-operated TV. Let's see, what was the TV called? I forget now. But anyway, I bought the TV, and he bought one of those little cameras. And I bought it, and I was using it on the Grand Stream. So when Wade was here, we disassembled all the Grand Stream and everything, so that's all gone now. So I'm just strictly digital TV now, and of course the computer here with you guys on Discord. And Discord worked really good tonight when I turned it on. The other night, it didn't. I don't know what the problem was. It did update. I think sometimes that messes things up, but tonight I turned it on and sat here and waited a few minutes, and then Discord came on, so that was good. I like that. All right, I guess that's enough here. It was a cold, rainy day here, Jim, all day, just like you were saying. I don't know how. I didn't look at my rain gauge, but it was cold all day. All right, back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for that. Let's go to Port Angeles to Lee, N7KC.
Okay, all right. I'm on the air. This is N7KC Lee in Port Angeles, and I got the thumbs up, so very good. Okay, there I see myself on YouTube. Ron, your video seems to be stretched horizontally a little bit. It's your head is much wider horizontally than it ought to be. At least that's the way I'm seeing it here on YouTube. Now you look perfectly normal on Discord. Whatever camera you're using on Discord is perfect, but the other one is definitely, in my view. The 12 or the dB relative picture quality, I'm surprised is listed as decibels. Decibels is a ratio of two numbers, and a quality is seems like it would just be a number. And the dBm, of course, is absolute power referenced to 1 milliwatt. So that makes a lot of sense. And I see the transmit frequency, and I think 4 megahertz bandwidth, I believe, is what the 4 was for. So I get that. And Richard, it's good to see you. You're looking pretty good, I think. I did a little project here. Actually, I bought it last April. It is the Velemon educational LCD oscilloscope. So I'm just going to turn it on here and see if, well, that's not going to show up very well. But anyway, it's a kit, and I just show you there's two stuff falling off here. There's 2 boards, and it doesn't have much of a case or anything, as you can see. It's taking a long time on YouTube right now. In fact, it's just now starting to show me rotating the thing. So it's my latency here is many seconds right at the moment. Anyway, so this is the Velemon EDU08 around the $50 oscilloscope kit. I thought it would be fun to see what I could do with it. I don't know the bandwidth of it. It's obviously not very high because it's just got clip leads for a probe. So it's nothing to write home about, but I think it'll be good for. I'm going to try to use it to measure the deviation on an FM. On received signals on the FM VHF radio. So okay, enough of that, and I will put the camera back up in its normal spot here. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, I don't have anything else. The pictures are just exceptional. And I think Ron is watching probably a baseball game. It must be something to do with the series. Anyway, that's it from here. Thank you all. It's good to see you tonight. Maybe I'll get back in here before we shut down. So, N7KC Lee in Port Angeles, I would say 73 yet. Back to you, Dave.
N7KC, thanks for that. And for an ID, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ in Bothell.
Hey, hello guys. Let's see. Yeah, vitamin D3. James, yeah, I actually don't. I took vitamin D supplements for a little while and I stopped. But yes, you're right. Most of mine is from supplements or food and not from the sunshine. Ron, yeah, I meant to mention that with Joanne. Very good that she's making progress and happy about that. As for your camera, yeah, I noticed the same thing. And when you said you spent $12.95 on your camera and it's an analog camera, maybe you should like break out the piggy bank and get something that's actually digital and gives an HDMI, HD output, something with a HDMI cable. That would be a good deal. Timing. So I've got my clock set up here on my phone to show the time. So I don't know how well we can do. I'll have to go back and look at it later. But this uses NTP, Network Time Protocol, to give a very, very accurate reading of the time based from atomic clock sources. So anyway, that's that. I had one or two other things, I think. Food. You know, I mentioned about the drugs I was taking for the sort of stronger drugs that I was taking for my type 2 diabetes and how it was giving me a bad taste in the mouth. I stopped taking them about 5 or 6 days ago. That taste is still there sometimes. I thought it was fading, and then it comes back, and it's this soapy taste that whenever I'm eating or drinking something, it can come in and be there while I'm eating it and have kind of an aftertaste. So I'm really, really hoping it goes away very soon because that's why I stopped taking the drugs, and I imagine somehow, they get in your system and that takes a while to get out, but boy, it seems like it should be gone by now. Okay, I think that's all I have this time around. I did want to say, Richard, congratulations on the progress. I'm really happy about that. And they, I may have told this group this before, but when I had elbow surgery for a ligament that had been torn and was surgically repaired, I was asking the doctor kind of the last thing before I was going to go off and I'd get physical therapy and all this, and I said, well, do you have any other advice, anything for me? And she said, don't fall. So there we go. Same for you, Richard. Don't fall. All right, back to Ned, K9PQ.
PQ, thanks for that. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX. I don't know if you've been watching the World Series. We're at the top of the ninth, LA 7, New York 6. 2 on base for LA, and that's where it stands right now. So with that, I'm going to move on down to Richard, K7ITX.
Yeah, I copy exactly the same thing, Dave, so no latency here. It looks like we're right in sync on the ball game. It's pretty exciting. Could be the opportunity for the Dodgers to finish the night if they can just hold their water to the bitter end. So, and Bob on the taste, I know what that's like, and I think I'm finally coming out of everything tasting too salty. Chicken doesn't quite taste the way I want it to yet. The gyro tasted great. Steak tastes great. I don't salt anything like I used to. So, but I think it's coming back. I think for me it's just taking some time. But I think pizza, like Covington Jim was talking about, that's supposed to taste salty. So I would eat that any old time. good taste or bad. No, or new or different taste, I should say, not good or bad, but new or different. And gee whiz, before it's too late, I need to mention that an old neighborhood buddy of mine sent me a text, and evidently his grandson Ryan is on a championship show tonight. It's called Forged in Fire, and he's one of the final contestants, evidently. And so it's going to be on the History Channel at 10 o'clock. So I'm kind of excited about watching it. Forged in Fire is a show where the guys take just chunks of metal that the judges deem worthy, and they have to melt it down and make these beautiful blades and swords and knives, like complete flawless craftsmanship. So I've watched it several times. It's pretty damn interesting. It looks very difficult, extremely difficult. So I'm looking forward to that at 10 o'clock tonight. And oh gosh, there's so many things to comment about. And again, I have to take my hat off to Wade. I'm so proud to be an acquaintance of Wade and a friend. He's part of St. Joseph's Hospital in an indirect but an important role. That's how we are connected through his company called Common Spirit. And anytime people ask me about my hobbies, when I'm, doing things, procedures and stuff medically, they'll ask me about, my hobbies, and I'll talk about the Western Washington Amateur TV Society and how one of the key digital IT employees with Common Spirit has just been instrumental in getting things really off and rolling. So, Wade, thank you so much. I really appreciate all that you've done, and I think it's cool when they raise an eye and a staff member in Common Spirit likewise is proud. In fact, I think my therapist might even be watching tonight. It's hard to say, but it's pretty exciting to be associated with you and your people. So, God, like I say, I could talk forever, but I won't. K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks for that. Let's go to Wade in Tacoma, W7ATS.
Here I am again. So, who should I comment on first? Lee, yeah, I'm going to try to get a definitive answer what that second number on the bottom means. I'll see if I can send an email to HIDAS and see if they can explain what it is. I'm kind of curious. It definitely seems the number goes up when the quality is better going into the receiver. So yeah, not quite sure. Right now the delay is almost non-existent when I'm looking at what I'm seeing on my screen and what I'm actually getting out on the transmit output. So I'm going to look into trying to reduce the latency on YouTube. I got it as low as it can go as far as I can tell in the settings. It's set to ultra low latency, and I have OBS, which is sending the video to YouTube, set to ultra low latency as well. So it may be just something I need to adjust, or maybe it's just a fact of maybe sending video to YouTube and there's some processing delay that they have to process the images and then recompress it and then send it over the internet. So yeah, there is a little thing that's going on You know, it's going to encode all your video frames in MPEG-4, and then it sends it over there to DVB-T encoding or modulation, and then it has to demux that modulated signal and then decompress and change that video back to a straight digital signal, and then it has to re-encode it again to send it out over the air. So there's two encoding sequences happening, one going to and then another one going down. So it's unfortunate that it's got a little delay, but you know, I think it's livable, especially with the video quality. It's just amazing. I'm watching myself on one of my TVs I hooked up to the receiver, and my image looks identical when I'm outputting to the repeaters. So, well, very close to it. For my eyes, it looks nearly identical. Even the color tones look the same. And to comment on why Ron's image looks stretched, his camera is actually a 640 by 480 analog camera, or whatever the resolution is for analog NTSC. So when it goes into the encoder stretches out all the bits to make a 1080p image. So it's doing it's changing with the resolution is to a widescreen resolution from a 4:3 resolution. So you're going to get some artifacts, and it's going to make circles look a little oblong and so forth. So yeah, Ron, maybe we'll get you a better camera, but if you're happy with what you got, then I'd say just keep it what you're doing. So and then Richard, yeah, thanks for giving me props to my coworkers. They probably don't know who I am, but we're such a big company. But I appreciate you giving me good comments to them, and I appreciate everybody working with me to get this DATV working, and let me go over to your house and getting it all set up. I love doing this stuff. It's fun. It's my hobby. So I will turn it back to Ned. I didn't take any notes. I'm going to start trying to take notes so that I can comment on other people's stuff that I forgot. So with that said, this is Wade, W7ATS. Back to Ned.
7ITL, thanks for that. Well, let's go to the Pizza Man. N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, actually, speaking of pizza, this morning I had, for breakfast I had pizza with coffee, for lunch I had pizza with Pepsi, and for dinner I had pizza with beer. So I can for sure go another 2 days, I think, maybe 3. But anyway, I'm enjoying it while I've got it here. I kind of consider it a sort of a luxury, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't take much to please me. Let's see. Bob, yeah, NTP clock, that's pretty cool. As for the bad taste, yeah, I fortunately have not had any problems with bad taste in my mouth as a consequence of any sort of medicine. When my wife and I both had COVID, they gave her Paxlovid. They didn't give it to me due to some other medical condition that I've got, but with her, it left a really nasty metallic taste in her mouth. It did go away rather quickly after she stopped taking it, but I know that some medicines will last only while they're in your bloodstream. The effects will go away quickly, and others take days to months to dissipate, and then others would be around like years. You might say forever, but probably not really forever. So I don't know. We'll keep our fingers crossed. something that that makes the taste more palatable, or makes it like it goes away. Good luck with that. For some reason, the last couple of days, there have been some bizarre stuff on television. I just yesterday, I guess at the baseball game, there were two guys who tried to get a ball. There was one of the Dodgers caught a ball, and it was right up by where the fans were sitting, and one of the fans grabbed his mitt and trying to get the ball out of the mitt. Actually, I saw the ball come flying out of the mitt, and then the fellow was trying to use the Dodger was trying to use his other hand to help keep it in there, and a second fan, Yankees fan, grabbed a hold of his hand and tried to help the other guy getting the ball. I guess we know who they wanted to win the game. It's just, I don't know. I'm thinking there are all these bizarre things going on nowadays. I don't know. I thought that was, I don't want to say humorous, but interesting. Wow. Anyway, yeah, I think everyone was expecting LA to get the last game, but that didn't happen, so we'll see what happens tonight. I forgot someone mentioned what the score was a little bit ago. Thanks for mentioning that. I'll find out the results here after the net, I'm sure. Anyway, back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
Let's go to James, WW7N.
WW7N here in Northeast Bellevue. Well, yes, I too say thank you, Wade, for moving the digital TV forward. I think it's fantastic, and I'm hoping that we can find something that a $17 dongle can at least get some software and receive the signal, because then, you know, just about anybody could do it. And I think we would probably get a lot more participation, and that would be okay. If it still takes lots more money to get a transmitter going, you know, that would that's a natural filter for who's really serious. And anyone can participate who's listening now via the digital side. So if you're interested in amateur television, give us a shout here in the net, or contact us via email, and we'll invite you in. So anyway, I see it's 5 minutes to the top of the hour. I had to step away just for a moment because I had a call I just couldn't refuse. Of course, I knew they would call right in the middle of the net. It always just works that way. So anyway, I will probably say 73's here. Don't think it's going to come back around to me, but I'm going to pass it right back to Dave so that somebody else can have the last word tonight. This is James, WW7N. Take it away, Dave.
WW7N, thanks for that. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Oh my gosh, talking about food. I broke down and got some smoked salmon and had that in a salad tonight. Boy, that was yummy. I haven't done that in quite a while. I used about a third of a pound of smoked salmon in a tossed green salad, and it was just scrumptious as far as I was concerned. Well, I've been away from the TV for a bit, but I was looking over, and everybody's jumping up and down with the LA Dodgers gear T-shirts saying World Series champs. So I take it that the LA Dodgers took the series tonight. So anyway, that's information I can pass on. This is Dave, KD7CYN. So I'll go up to Ron, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU here. Yes, the Dodgers just won the World Series, and I just lost my signal from Cougar, and my screen went blank. So I'm transmitting. I don't know if anybody else can see it or not, but I'm transmitting. I'm sorry. I was paying more attention to the baseball game tonight than I was the net. I kind of enjoy baseball. There it is. I see myself now. I just came back in, but I'm locked up. Yeah, and as far as the camera goes, I may replace the camera in the future, but man, I've laid out almost $1,200 on equipment. You know, it's about $400 for the transmitter and about $300 for the receiver, and then $500 for the amplifier. So you know, that's almost $1,200 bucks. You add tax in there. So anyway, I'll have to make do with this camera for a while, but one of these times I'll step up and get a good camera. So I'll say 73, everybody. It must be raining harder or something because I'm losing my picture. I lost it again. All right, I'm going to click it off and say goodnight, and we'll continue on Discord, KD7QKU.
QKU, thanks for that. Well, we got time for just a quick hello, goodbye from Ron, KD7, for Lee N7KC.
KC disconnected.
And I guess we lost Lee N7KC. Well, it's time to close up the net. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. We'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 for our audio transmissions for our nets held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. So on behalf of the Western